Welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
I'm Candice.
I'm Lariah.
And I'm Lacey. Grab a drink and come hang with us at the Hangar Bar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hangar Bar. Hi, Candice.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am excited for today.
Are you?
I am.
I'm excited as well.
We are starting kind of a new series today that is part of our newfound freedom in our podcast. We decided we could do some different things and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. So today, what are we doing, Candice?
We are starting our Mixing It Up with the Mouse series, which means we are going to be making drinks, making food, making all kinds of things with a Disney spin.
Yeah, I am so excited.
Me too.
And we spent an hour and a half last night digging through recipes and online searching for different things.
Yes.
And we decided we wanted to start this series, and we'll invite the girls in for this. Mm-hmm. Just our group has been fraught with COVID illness and COVID scares over the past few weeks, so we're still trying to deal with that a little bit, and it just didn't work out for us to get together this weekend to start this series together. But we're gonna include the other girls in this as we go through.
Definitely. But
as we decided what we were gonna do, we decided we wanted to start with a familiar flavor, right? Mm-hmm. Something you and I have both tasted.
Mm-hmm. And love.
Mm-hmm. So we got to looking for recipes, and what did we land on?
We landed on the ever-popular and fairly new, I mean, in the grand scheme of the 100 years of the Disney Company, this is a new treat. But it's quickly making its mark as a classic, I think.
Yes.
And we are going to make the Lefou's brew.
Yay! I'm excited. So in the you probably have already seen it if you're clicking on this episode to read it. I'm going to put the recipe in the description, and then I'm sure this is a copycat recipe. I'm sure this isn't the exact recipe, and we had to make a couple of modifications due to ingredients. We'll talk about that as we go. Mm-hmm. But yes, so we are going to get started. I am going to be making the foam top for this, and then Candice is actually going to make the brew part of this. So through the magic of editing and podcasting, we're just going to keep talking to you while we do this. If we have to take a little bit of a break, you won't even know. It'll just be like we've been here the whole time, just chatting with you the whole time. But the idea is we're going to put this together, we're going to taste test, and we're going to see just how good we can do Lefou's brew today.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Me too. Okay, let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
Okay, so the recipe that we're doing today, like we said, is Lefou's brew. The part that I'm working on is the topper, or the foam for it, and that includes heavy whipping cream, mango juice, and passion fruit juice. I could not find passion fruit juice anywhere at a local grocery store, so I ended up going with guava nectar because the internet told me to. And I trust everything that happens on the internet, so that's what we're going to do. Isn't that the right answer, Candice?
I don't know about that, but it's what we'll go with today.
Everything on the internet is true.
Abraham Lincoln said that, didn't he?
That's what I agree.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. So I'm getting out the little measuring cup for that. Having this with a microphone in my hand is going to make this a little bit more difficult. So I'm breaking out the whipping cream. And I have a metal bowl in the refrigerator chilling because it's easier to make whipped cream from a cold bowl. It just makes the peaks happen. And what we're going to do is once we get the whipping cream and the 2 different juices put together, we're going to whip that into soft peaks and then just let it sit in the refrigerator for a little bit while we make the rest. So let me get out the bowl. Yep, nice and cold. Okay, Candice, I'm going to let you talk to the people a little bit about where we first encountered Lefou's brew.
Okay. So, as most people have their first experience with Lefou's brew, it came from Gaston's Tavern in Magic Kingdom Park. It was our, I think, 2018 trip when it was just a solo trip for Scott and I. And, we'd been walking around the park for quite a while. At that point, Lefou's brew was a pretty new thing. Neither one of us had it to that point, and we were hot and decided that we really wanted to go in and get something cool to drink and decided to try the Lefou's brew. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. The older I get, the less I like really sticky, sweet things. But In this instance, it's just the right amount of sweet, and it's cold and it's icy and kind of slushy. And the flavors just really blend really well. To be honest with you, I am a little bit nervous about this whole guava juice experience as opposed to passion fruit, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay, because I don't think I told you. So we ended up using 4 tablespoons of both the mango juice and the guava juice. And what I'm going to do next is going to be loud. So we're going to take a just hot second break. And like I said, you are not even going to know that we took a hot second break because magic of podcast. Okay, so the whipped cream is done. We had a small little debate that you missed out on what exactly soft peaks means. But that's okay. We got there. But I did forget to do something, Candice, as I look into the kitchen. She's going to actually move the bowl of soft peak, what I call soft peak whipped cream. And Candice is agreeing that it is soft peak. She's throwing that into the fridge because I forgot to do that while I was cleaning up other things. That was more stressful than I expected it to be. But Candice is going to do the next part, which I think is really the most stressful part because it's the main flavor.
Thank you for that pressure.
No problem.
So I am going to be adding to my 32-ounce cup for my Ninja blender 12 ounces of frozen apple juice.
From concentrate, right?
From concentrate. A cup of ice cubes, and a quarter cup of toasted marshmallow coffee syrup, basically.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so cool.
Me too, and it's going to be really loud.
So as you mix that stuff together, we'll just keep talking a little bit. So you can even put your microphone down if you want, Candice. I'm excited for this. Like, I never really... Like, we've been jonesing for Disney World for a while. Like, we keep making other plans and not doing Disney, but we have been jonesing for it for a while. And like, we started thinking about this episode and what we wanted to do with it, and this Lefou's brew is one of my favorite concoctions. So the fact that we found a copycat recipe of it that we're going to taste test for you all is just super exciting. So we're going to, in the future, we chose this one just because, again, it was familiar flavors for us, something we knew and we could kind of compare to our memory to see how we did and bring us a little closer to Disney from the Midwest here. In the future, we're going to try out different Disney cocktails. We're going to do Disney cooking. We're going to try doing all sorts of different things. And so we're playing around with this format a little bit. Let us know what you think of it, how it went, what you think of how we've done it, and if there's things that you'd like to see us do differently. I know it's a little bit different to sort of do a cook along with someone or a make something along with someone as we're on a podcast. It just isn't necessarily as interesting as watching Food Network. But trust me, Candice and I both look Food Network ready. And this is super exciting. So as she's putting all this stuff together to actually make the brew part, I'm super excited for what we have coming. So really the idea behind this is she's going to put it into the blender, and she's making kind of a slushy. So for those of you that have not had Lefou's brew, it's a frozen cocktail, not cocktail, it's a frozen drink that is slushy, and then it has the foam topper on top of it, which today I learned is whipped cream and not just some other kind of foam. So super excited. She's getting ready to turn the blender on here in a minute. So we will be back in just a minute. Okay.
Amazingly, it has kind of like a creamy texture to it.
Does the color look like we remember it looking?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why I was thinking. Maybe we'll have to do a side-by-side comparison as our cover picture for this one. I can find a picture of the actual Lefou's brew from, what's the name of the place?
Gaston's Tavern.
There you go. Sorry. I may have to have my Disney card taken away. Wow. From Gaston's Tavern next to right next to one of ours when we get it plated, just so we can see if it kind of looks similar, because the mixture looks a little browner than I would have thought. And I thought for some reason it was a little greener, and maybe they use food coloring or something like that to give it a different color. But here we go. We are plating, and we have our Lefou's brew right here in front of us. And actually, I think this looks...
It looks pretty spot on.
Yeah. When you put the topping on it, it sort of changed it enough that I, like, recognize it, which is so cool. Mm-hmm. So cool.
Disney.
Okay. So do you mix this up before you drink?
You don't in the park.
Okay. Short little editor's note. We should have mixed it up. It was actually a lot more familiar after we ended the episode and kind of stirred everything together. So pro tip, mix it up. So let's...
Or I don't in the park. I mean, I suppose you could.
Let's give it a little bit of
get all the flavors blended together.
Get a little bit of a taster here.
You did a great job on the whipped cream, by the way.
That is spot freaking on.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That tastes like Lefou's brew.
It sure does.
That is so awesome. So
a little sweeter than maybe what I remember.
Yeah.
But again, it's not 112 degrees here.
Right. We haven't been walking around all day.
Right. So we're not in it for the refreshment. We're in it for the taste.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. And I'm wondering if very appley. Mm-hmm. You can get that hint of the marshmallow syrup. It adds quite a bit.
Yeah, it really does.
Like as little, but you think about the amount of liquid. There's not very much liquid in this.
There's not, but I will say that for proportionally speaking, there's a quarter cup of that marshmallow syrup in there with only 12 ounces of juice.
That's true.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. So you got, what, 2 ounces of syrup to 12 ounces of concentrated fruit juice.
Right.
Which is going to be sweeter anyway, because the sweetness comes out of it when you add water.
Right.
So the one thing I will say that I'm surprised by is the recipe that I'm going to post for you. We're using fairly large cups, but it's made less of the brew than I thought it would.
Right.
For the amount of foam that they have you make for the recipe, it's not very much brew. We fit it into 2 glasses. Again, this is about the same probably volume cup that they're going to serve in the park in those plastic glasses that they serve it in.
Yeah, I would think so. And quite honestly, I don't know that I would want more of either thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think this is a good balance for 2 servings, this recipe, because I think otherwise it's just, there's a lot happening and it's delicious, but there's just a lot going on, mm-hmm. if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to mix the foam down in, the cream down in a little bit to see if I can get some of that passion fruit guava. So what do you think not passion fruit, we used...
Guava and mango.
Mango. So what do you think the passion fruit would change about this? Not much, would it?
No, I think... Because, I mean, if you think about the pog juice, that's pineapple, orange guava. Or is it passion fruit, orange guava? Man, take away my Disney card. I can't remember. Anyway.
It's passion fruit.
Yeah. So I think maybe it might even make it a little bit sweeter
mm-hmm.
than what this is. And that might be a little much.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'm not complaining. This is amazing, and it didn't take us long at all to put it all together. And so I think what a great treat this is.
Yeah. And easy to do with ingredients that you can find in your grocery store. Again, the only thing we had trouble finding was the passion fruit here locally, but the other juices we found in the Mexican aisle in our local store. And Candice is giving me a hard time. She probably would have said ethnic, but it was in the Mexican food aisle. They had refried beans right next to these juices. It's the Mexican food aisle. So yeah, right. You can find all the stuff. The other hard thing to find was the syrup. I ended up going to 2 stores with the intention that we were going to make our own toasted marshmallow simple syrup, but I found the coffee syrup, and it was $10 for a big bottle of it. And Candice says she'll use it in her coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but she'll use the rest of it before it goes bad in her coffee and that kind of stuff that we make here. But even if we would have had to make our own simple syrup, that's not a hard process.
It's just time consuming because you have to let it cool before you can use it or add the final touch.
Yeah.
So.
And when there's 6 inches of snow on the ground, you have to toast your marshmallows inside and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, okay. Scale of 1 to Happy Mickey tears.
I would say probably about a 7.
Okay.
Which is, it takes me back to the park, but I'm not quite ready to cry because Tink is flying out of the castle.
Right. Yeah, I think so. It's sweeter than what I remember, but I think that is circumstance. Like,
Yes.
we didn't go buy this from Gaston's Tavern. We're not both sweating buckets. I think probably on a scale to 1 of Happy Mickey tears, I'm meeting Scrooge McDuck.
So is that what number is?
We don't have to have a numbering scale, do we? It's just like...
Well, it started with 1, and then we go to Happy Mickey tears. So I guess Purple Butterfly? I don't know.
Okay, so let's change our rating scale.
All right.
From... I'm trying to think of a good... From Scar to Happy Mickey tears, where do you rate Lefou's brew? Oh, wait. No. Let's stick true to the movie.
Okay.
From Gaston to Belle in the library, where does this rate?
I would have to say the barking footstool.
Okay, yes, I like that. For me, the first one that popped into my head was Lefou falling in love with Gaston. That's right there. It puts me right there.
All right.
It's his brew. He can fall in love with Gaston. He's happy for the moment.
Right.
Things are about to go downhill, but he's good where he is.
And me for the barking footstool, it makes you happy. It's super cute, and it's very Disney.
Mm-hmm. Very Disney indeed. Okay, so this is going to be a short episode. We told you that we were going to do things a little bit differently. Not all the episodes are going to be long. Not all of them are going to be what they've traditionally been. This one is all about Lefou's brew today. I don't think we have anything more to say. If you are local and would like to have us make this for you, reach out. We might be able to do some sort of a Patreon chat or something where we make this for you. But remember, there is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
And we'll see you real soon.